We're going. You know who else watches Free Refill on a Thursday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time? My mom! Ladies and gentlemen, it's week 6 of the NFL. It's 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm back here with Muscle Man, with Mitch Sorenstein, to talk NFL Week 6, to talk tonight's Thursday night game against the Eagles and the Giants. The NFL season just keeps marching along, and so do I. I am like the little train that could, and the giving tree. I am the little engine that could, and the giving tree, with how much I am chugging along, with how much I think I can, with how much I be giving out free refills. What a week. What a week to get into it. We had some big trades happen over this week. Joe Flacco gets shipped from Cleveland to Cincinnati. He doesn't even leave the state. We got Greg Newsome and Tyson Campbell getting swapped from the Browns and the Jaguars, respectively. And we have a massive Week 6 slate to discuss. Which games are going to be bangers? Which games are going to be absolute stinkers? We have all of that. Actually, that's all of it. That's going to be the hour. I was going to say there was more, but there really isn't much more outside of that. But it should still be good. It'll be good. I'll promise that it will be. I'm excited. My Pittsburgh Steelers get to play this weekend. I got Muscle Man, former gut model. This guy, the one of the winner of so many strongmen competitions, and he's here to really just fill the other hole in the screen. That's what he's here for. But let's get going with some Thursday night football. And ladies and gentlemen, we've already got it. We've got the layout already set up. As you can see, we are go. We are go for NFL football. Let me first just get something out of the way real quick. NFL teams that are on bye. I just have to make sure, because I don't know, actually. I know there's only two, though. Vikings and Texans. Those are the two. Let's throw them in right away. Let's throw in the Vikings and the Texans right away. They get to relax. They don't need to be judged by me today. Easton 7 Goated is here. What is up, Easton? How are we doing today? How's your Thursday, man? Is it a good Thursday for you? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing. This Thursday was long. It was another long day at the office. But I'm so happy to be in this chair as opposed to the office chair. This chair is more comfortable, it is more entertaining, it is way more fun. And Easton, God, I just saw. Good, I touched grass. I'm glad, Easton. I'm glad you're out there touching the grass. I'm gonna be real. I barely touched grass today because I was indoors all day. I went out for like a one walk out in the yard where I work, and I gotta tell you, it's a lot of just gravel and mud and dirt and rocks. It's hard to find grass, but I found a little bit of it. I found a cat running around back there as well. You know, it wasn't a bad day. I got out, I did my thing, and I made a little bit of moolah. But I am exhausted, and but I'm not too exhausted for football. I gotta say that much. I'm glad I'm not too exhausted for football. I don't think you could ever have me in a situation where I would be too exhausted. On the bright side, for these two soccer teams, I don't have to talk about them this week. No Vikings and no Texans play this week, but all other 30 teams in the league have some action this week, and they've got some business to take care of. 15 are going to win, 15 are... Well, actually, that's not true. A team could tie, and then I'd be really pissed. But if you tie, you basically lose. So at least 15 teams are not winning football games this weekend. That statement is true. And we got to get started with tonight's game. The New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, are hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Easton, can you do a live stream for Thursday night? I can maybe do a live reaction. I don't know if I can. I'm not allowed to show the game. It's like YouTube's got all this copyright crap, and I gotta be like, oh, dude, it's gotta make me watch. I can do a live reaction. I might be down for that. Probably not this Thursday, just because I've already got stuff I gotta get done after this stream. But next Thursday, I can 100%. What's next Thursday, actually? Because I'm willing to do, I think, ooh, wait a second. Oh, I would 100% do next Thursday, because I think next Thursday is Steelers-Bengals, and I am the resident Steeler fan of this channel. Let me check. NFL Week 7. I believe that is when I will do. Yup. I will be doing a live reaction to next week's game. 100%. Pittsburgh plays Cincinnati. You're going to see me get pissed. You're going to see me get annoyed, Easton. It's going to happen pretty much the whole goddamn game. Because, you know, whenever we play like a bad quarterback, we suck. It's the reality of what it is. It's just, I don't. That's what it is. It's how it goes. It doesn't like me. The Steelers don't like it. They know when I'm watching. They know that I'm always watching, but they know that they have to give me a heart attack. I think that's a lot of NFL fans. Your team doesn't really play well when you think it's supposed to, or your team will like play like, you know, your team will either play really poorly when it's supposed to play well, or somehow will play really well when it's supposed to play poorly. It's just bizarre. I think the Steelers always find a way to play poorly no matter who it is. Like, they'll play well against a team they probably shouldn't beat, but it'll still be a heart attack game regardless. Like, I'm like losing my guy. What happened to Taft? Taft's too busy, man. So Taft's my co-host. He really is only able to be here Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays sometimes. So, like, it's hard getting him in here, man. He's a busy guy. It's why, and also, the other thing is, when I make this, we don't have, like the frame we have. I never made it for just one person. We made it for everything else. We never made it for one person. So literally every time I just replace the photo with some random like character from a movie. It's usually a cartoon or an animated movie. This time it's Muscle Man. Like it could be anybody next. Next thing, I don't know. It could be like the poop guy from the Emoji Movie. Like it might be him. It could be anybody. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna pop into my sick, twisted mind. It could get scary what goes in the box over to my left, or the box that's above me. Dude, that dude looks like the green skin. You think? I could see the resemblance. I definitely see it a little bit. The only thing, honestly, is probably the teeth. But Taff actually has 4 fingers. I don't know if you saw it, but he only has 4 fingers on each hand. It's a rare thing. It doesn't show as much. You don't maybe notice it as much on camera, but it is there. It's there a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But it's there. You'll on Tuesdays, and then I think Saturdays and Sundays, you'll be able to catch it. You'll be able to see that he's missing a couple of his digits. I gotta get into this though. I gotta get into Giants Eagles to start out. First off, we have the New York Giants, who I give have not been off to a great start this season. You've got Malik Neighbors going down. You were able to get a win against the Chargers, but somehow not beat the Saints. And now you've got to host the defending Super Bowl champs coming off a loss. The Philadelphia Eagles, in theory, should be pissed. Right? In terms of how good this game is going to be, I'm just going to start right there. The New York Giants. This game, honestly, I think it'll have... I don't think it's going to be mid. I think it'll have some intrigue. I think there will be some intrigue there with Eagles-Giants. My main issue that I have with this game is, well, at least from the Eagles' perspective, is that they've been kind of mediocre to start the year. They have not been playing like Super Bowl champions. They've kind of been playing slow. Last week's game is a perfect example. They were up 2 scores, and in the second half of that game, Saquon Barkley got 1 carry. That doesn't... You are up 2 scores, and you're not running out the clock? You're not trying to chew clock and run the ball? What are we doing? How are we not giving carries to the best player you have on your offense, right? That doesn't make sense to me. And that's how you ultimately end up losing to Denver. And the reality is, it feels like when the Eagles made the Super Bowl in 2022 the first time and they lost to the Chiefs, then they came back the next year, they were 10-1. They were ripping off wins. But they had also brought in new coordinators. They had lost Shane Steichen to the Colts. They had lost Jonathan Gannon to the Cardinals. You bring in these new coordinators, and it looks on paper fine. But the majority of those games were also one-possession games. They were close games. And what happened? They started 10-1 that season. They finished 11-6 and lost in disgusting fashion to Tampa Bay. The same thing, I think, is set to happen again. I think Philadelphia is going to look like they're winning a lot of games, that they're doing things and they're figuring things out. But ultimately, I don't think they're gonna realize too late that they have to do something about the coordinator position, that they have to fix the offense and the defense, and ultimately it's going to bite them in the butt. And I think they're going to significantly regress as the season goes on. They're going to pile up losses towards the end of the season, in my opinion, and it's going to get a little bit ugly. That's my guess, because again, Philadelphia sometimes has nailed the coordinator position like they did in 2022, like they did in 2024, but in 2023 and so far in 2025, it has been not exactly fruitful. I still think they beat the Giants. They might even blow them out, and they might be able to prove me wrong that they figured it out. But the reality is, they should blow out this Giants team. This Giants team is starting a rookie at quarterback, a rookie at running back, and is down their best threat offensively. This should be an easy win for Philadelphia. But if the Giants don't turn it over, one, force turnovers against the Eagles, and get pressure on Jalen Hurts consistently with that front, which isn't impossible with how this Eagles offensive line is played to start the year, Giants could somehow not only keep this game close, they could sneak out a win. If that happens, I think Eagles really need to reassess what's happening, and I think that would be the wake-up call. But I still have the Eagles winning this game. That all being said, they should win. It'll be an intriguing game. It's a division rivalry game. It's really hard for, like, you'd have to be absolute cheeks. Like, it'd have to be like Jags-Titans like 10 years ago for it to be a game that I think has very little to no intrigue, you know? Like, it'd have to be that. And even then, like, maybe there's some intrigue with Blake Bortles and Marcus Mariota, but it'd have to be like the Jake Locker versus Blaine Gabbert Jags-Titans game. That's how it would have to be to basically be, oh, that's the AI slop fest of the week. You know, like, it's that bad. Easton, I did a draft on ESPN Fantasy. We're doing drafts. I've never really done a draft in the middle of the season. I've never really done that. And dude, Josh Allen's upsetting me. I'm going to be real. I have Josh in one of my leagues. Oh, I need full screen to explain this. I have Josh Allen in one of my leagues. Dude, like, every week I need him. Like, I'm not saying he needs to save my team, but he kind of needs to save my team, you know? You draft those players with the intent that, yeah, if my team struggles, this is the guy that's going to save it. Hasn't been able to do that. Wasn't able to do nearly enough against the New England Patriots. Wasn't able to do nearly enough. Well, actually, he did a lot against the Saints, but I still didn't win that game in week 4. And then against the Jets, like, you just going to give everything to James Cook? You're not going to throw the ball at all? Especially with the fact that Ahmad Gardner, yeah, I don't call him Sauce because he don't have his sauce no more. Like, cook him. Cook him for me, at least. I need something, man. I am 1-4. I'm about to, like, be hitting massive trades this weekend. I got to sell, like, a lot. It's not... It's painful. But I still have... That being said, even if I fall to 1-5 this week, I have confidence I'll turn it around. I just do. I just got to get in the playoffs. It's a different mindset now. It's not about winning the championship. It's just about getting to the dance. Once I get in the dance, anything's possible. So, that's the play. But tonight, for the Giants to win, they can't turn it over like they did in New Orleans. For Philadelphia, they literally just need to do what they did last year. It's not hard. Like, I'm going to be real. I might be able to do a little better job and running the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Because I'll tell you right now, Saquon's not just getting one carry in the second half. That's all I'm saying. If I have a double-digit lead, Saquon's getting more than one carry in that second half. You better believe it. After Giants-Eagles, I think the next game on the list is Broncos-Jets. That's a... You know what? This game... And it's not due to the Broncos. The Broncos actually are keeping this out of from being, like, not gonna... Like, out of the not gonna be good tier. This game's gonna be mid... Because the Jets, I think, are just going to get smacked and thrown around. They're going to get thrown around like a beanbag chair. They're going to get thrown around like a hacky sack. They're going to get thrown around like that one girl you knew in high school, okay? That's what this is going to be. That's what this game is going to be. The Jets are 0-5. And I don't want to hear that they're better than anybody thinks. You're wrong. They're not better than anybody thinks. They're exactly what people think they are. Bad. They are not a good NFL team. They have lost 5 games. They come out in the first half flatter than a soda that sat out open for 2 years. It's embarrassing. And people be like, Justin Fields having a career year. Really? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's like that. It's almost that'll happen if all of the time you were throwing the football is in garbage time, which is when the Jets are doing anything. When the Jets are able to move the ball at all. Could they beat Denver? Maybe. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe they'll get their first win against the Denver Broncos. But I doubt it. Nick Bonito has been insane. He leads the league already with like 7 sacks this year. This and that, I'll tell you what. Garrett Wilson's going to have a tough time on Patrick Surtain this week. Like, it's just not going to be easy for him to get open. Alan Lazard is going to be out of this game as well. So now you're down another receiving threat. You already lost Braylon Allen. You don't look like you want to utilize Breece Hall at all. So to me, it's like, what are we doing, New York? Jets are just consistently always bad, seemingly no matter what. I don't really understand it. I don't get it. I personally don't get it. I think this team's going to be mid, though. I think Broncos will, I don't think Broncos necessarily blow them out. Like, they'll be up by, 17, and the Jets will always kind of be, within 2 scores. But it won't matter because Denver's just better defensively. They're better at the quarterback position. I think right now, talent-wise, they're not better at the running position. But the way they're utilizing J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, they look much better in that regard. The receiving core, I don't think is even better either. I think Garrett Wilson's more talented than Cortland Sutton. And yet, I would take Denver's receiving core. It's just because they're playing better. They're just playing better in the moments that matter. And the New York Jets aren't. 0-5 for a reason. Bad New York team. Somehow not the worst team that plays in MetLife. And we've seen what the Giants look like. And the Giants are down their best pass catcher. So I can't help the New York Jets. I don't think anybody can. I'm not even sure Tom Brady could have helped the Jets. I really don't. That's the question. Is Tom Brady good enough to save the Jets, yes or no? To me, it might be no. Even in his prime, could he have saved the Jets? Could he save this Jets team? I don't know. I think it can maybe get him 7 wins. I think 7's in the cards. But, playoffs, a playoff win? I don't know. I think it'd be too much to ask. I think even that would be too much to ask of the GOAT, of the greatest quarterback of all time. But, hey, know what they say. Anything's possible. That being said, this team is bad. This team makes me, Jets, this team should make you green. That's what it does. It makes you sick to your stomach. It makes me sick just to know that the Jets are a team that exists. And people root for them. It's brutal stuff. Oh my gosh. What? Who just did that? I swear. Oh. Who? What? No. What? Oh. Oh, bro, he's oh, never mind. Reading some garbage. What I'm gonna do? Let me turn off audio for now. I don't have to get that stupid Discord notifications. What happened? Oh, I got an notification about a wager that we did a long time ago. It's about a really, I'm gonna be honest, really terrible video game. That much I'll say. Video game that you don't. In my opinion, I wouldn't want to see someone caught playing it. I don't think it's not a bad game. Actually, I'll take that back. Mechanically and objectively, I gotta go full screen. Mechanically, objectively, this is a bad game to me. It's a fun game if you got a bunch of people you're playing with. Listen, I'm gonna explain. There's this game. It's called Lord of the Rings Online. If you haven't played it, play it for a couple hours and then stop. There's a certain stopping point where it's this is enough, because it's basically just an MMO WoW kind of game, but you're in Lord of the Rings. It's not great. It's kind of slow, and the point was, I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to play it. I wanted to play literally anything else. But anytime I'd get on, that's what they'd suggest, because my friends knew I didn't like that game. So what ended up happening was there was a deal, there was a contract to get me to play the game. This is how it worked. To get me to play the game, we had to set up a contract where I would get to level 150 in a year's time. But the catch was I couldn't play by myself. I had to play with everybody. I had to play with my friends, right? So I would play with them and I would play alongside them until I got to level 150. And then if I did, they'd all have to pay me. And then if I did that, they'd all have to get tattoos. And if I didn't do that, then I'd have to get tattoo. I'd have to get the tattoo. I don't think I'd give them like similar money, but like proportionately, right? So that was the bet, essentially. Now the catch was though they had to play alongside me. Like I had like a certain barrier of like level difference I could exceed, but they stopped playing. So I had already maxed out my level as far as I could go without breaking the rule of the deal. So I was like, hey, you know what? Fine. If you are going to play, I'm just going to break the clause, break the contract, go over the level limit. And so that was it. But they never got on. And the whole point was if they had never gotten on within the next year, which they didn't, I wouldn't be able to actually fulfill the terms of the contract. So as a result, it basically means nothing happened. Which kind of sucks. It would have been funny to see them get tattoos. They wanted a tattoo. If you just need to know, they wanted to get a tattoo because they always say it's the greatest story ever told, and that was the tattoo they would get. They would get it's the great, like they would have it on their backs, and it would say it's the greatest story ever told, and it would say that across in like some sort of Lord of the Rings art style, and that's what they would have. And I'd be like, if we were able to do it, and I'd gotten it for them, I'd been like, guess what? You're welcome. But I don't believe it ever came to fruition. So it never got finished. The greatest story ever told never actually got told. As ironic as that is. But you know what? And so, I think someone was asking about it because I think it expired like a month or so ago, and someone was just asking about it in one of the Discords that I'm in. So that is the story of the greatest story that was not told. Although honestly, I still think like if I had them renew it and I just grinded it, honestly I could. It might just be something I stream the quest to level 150 just so I can say I made them get tattoos. If I do like one level a day, I mean the scaling of levels in that game is painful, but it's not impossible. All right, mini tangent about Lord of the Rings over. Moving on. Back to the grind. What are the 1 o'clock games? I'm trying to like go through in my brain what the 1 o'clock games are. Okay, Colts. Let's just start Colts. Believe that is 1 o'clock. Colts 1 o'clock game. They play. I think they host Arizona. I think they are playing host to the Arizona Cardinals. I think this game will have intrigue, but I think it's strictly for the Colts. I'm not interested in Arizona. I'm done with that basket. Okay? There's only one Arizona team I like, and it's actually probably worse than the Cardinals. It's the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, I know. It's weird that my basketball team is the Suns. I don't care. I don't care, man. I started watching basketball. I liked Booker when he got drafted. I haven't stopped liking the Suns since. It is what it is. My other team that I was thinking was Philly because I actually have a Ben Simmons jersey. I was just getting into basketball. I got in 2 jerseys. I got in a Booker jersey and I got a Simmons jersey. And I just like Booker more. Even when Simmons was like in this mini LeBron arc where Colin was like, LeBron, Ben Simmons is here. We're good. Like, clearly that was a crazy thing to say, but especially even then, and then in hindsight, it's even worse. But regardless, I like Daniel Jones and the Colts. They look fun. They look entertaining. They look exciting. I mean, just straight up. Hold on. Again? Really? Dude, no. I don't. It's the same friend still trying to figure out the status of him. I'll message him later. See, if you know what, he's probably going to pop up in stream is what's going to happen. He's going to be like, answer my question. Anyway. I like the Colts. I like Daniel Jones. I like the way that he's playing with confidence. I think Shane Steichen has instilled in him quite a bit of confidence from what I've seen. Tyler Warren's a nice piece. Michael Pittman's a nice piece. Jonathan Taylor's one of the reminding everybody how great he is. And it's a solid defense. I think they still need to get Kenny Moore healthy, but they're still very solid all around. Whereas Arizona just doesn't look doesn't look all there. I mean, I imagine they are rattled after losing to the Titans, and I imagine that it'll show going into this game. And fun fact, I had mentioned these two coordinators earlier, but this is actually a matchup of those former Eagles coordinators. I believe for the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the first time these two coaches have faced off. Shane Steichen going up against Jonathan Gannon. I like the Colts in this one, man. I think the Colts, they blew out the Raiders. I think they take it to Arizona, too. I think Daniel Jones he's going to have his mistakes. He's going to have his moments. But they're definitely, I think he's not overthinking. It doesn't look like he's overthinking in Indy. He's making the right throws. He's making the right reads. He's taking not like poor risks. He's taking good calculated risks. He feels confident. He feels ready to move. I think the Colts dominate Arizona. I just don't know how you go back into practice that next week. It just got to be brutal there for the Cardinals right now and all their players. Colts feel good. Colts feel confident. Colts feel loose. I think they get to 5-1. I think they've been the darling of the NFL so far this year. They're like last year's Vikings. Everybody they're an easy team to root for right now. I think they're gonna kick the crap out of Arizona if I'm being blunt. Moving forward to another week 1 game. Oh shoot, he's gonna be out, isn't he? Rams. I believe it's Ravens at Rams, or no, Rams at wait. Is it Rams at Ravens or Ravens at Rams? I'm gonna double check because I'm not sure. Because that actually matters about what my take is here. Actually, does it? If Lamar Jackson doesn't play, then it really doesn't. It doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't. Let's see. NFL. Where the heck is it? It is Rams at Ravens. Okay, I was right. I was right the first time. Anyway, my point here is Ravens are probably gonna get cooked again. Like I wouldn't doubt if the Ravens get cooked back-to-back home games and get absolutely booty smacked on the cheeks. That's the reality, right? Because I'm gonna be real. You know, they're just not good. Not good. Not a good team. Not a good team remotely. It's just I can't. With even no Lamar Jackson. Kyle Hamilton's out. Matabuke out for the year. And the corners, I talked about this in the offseason. They added Jair Alexander, and everyone's like, oh, cool wash dish that you added to your roster, dude. Like, Jair Alexander was cooked. Why would Green Bay cut him if they still thought he was good? It's because they know he can't stay healthy, and he know he's not the same guy he once was. Sorry, Jair, but the Ravens are in trouble. I think the Rams, with how well Matt Stafford is playing, with Puka Nacua gonna, I think, break records this year, with the fact that the defense is still young and getting better, I think the one issue for them is their secondary. But the reality is, without Lamar Jackson, how are you going to move the ball? And Derrick Henry doesn't look the same either. I think Baltimore's in for a rude awakening. I feel like this game is going to be... I feel like, honestly, hot take, I don't think this game is going to be good. And I think it's because the Rams are going to blow them out. I think the Rams are going to blow them out. Like, that's just the reality, right? I think they're going to smoke them. It's a darn shame, really. But the Rams are gonna roast them. They're gonna spit roast them. They're gonna put them on a fire. They're gonna hunt them down with bows and arrows. They're gonna get them, especially if Lamar Jackson doesn't play. And I think he is set to be out. But I just want to confirm because I'm saying all this, and it's like Lamar plays. And of course, I look like a moron. The clickety clack of the keyboard, baby. And remains out of practice with hamstring injury. Yeah, he was ruled out. Oh, well, that was 6 days ago, so it's different. I don't think he plays. I really don't. And even if he does, I just don't think it matters. I think the defense is just so atrocious. But I heard he wasn't playing. Was he not playing? Am I crazy? Lamar Jackson injury status for week 6. Just give me I hate all this. Like, it's like, oh, he might play, he might not play. Give me my answer. Give me my answer immediately. I gotta see. No, he was sidelined. He missed practice. I don't. Yeah, okay. So he's expected to miss his second game. I thought I read that earlier. Yeah, so he's expected to miss his second week. Ravens fall to 1-5. You are left with, I kid you not, probably no room for error the rest of the way. And I just don't think that happens with the fact that this defense is, well, trash. Certified dumpster fire of a defense. So yeah. I think the game is going to not be good. Now, the next game on the docket. I have is none other than Steelers hosting the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't think this game is going to be a heater, but I think it's certainly going to be entertaining. For one, it's going to be entertaining for me because I'm a Steelers fan. Because I know, if I know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers, is that they will find a way to make Dylan Gabriel look like he is the next best thing since, like, sliced bread, since 3D glasses, since microwaved popcorn. They're going to make Dylan Gabriel look like he's Tom Brady. Like, without a doubt, they're going to make Dylan Gabriel look amazing. They do this all the time. They did it with Justin Fields week 1. They did it with Sam in week 2, although I think Sam is actually the truth. They did it with Carson Wentz in the final 15 minutes of the Vikings game. They're going to do it with everybody they play, really no matter what. It's an undisputed fact of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to make everybody look significantly better than they actually are. It's just, they're so good at it. They do it all the time, and they're going to do it again. I can't. Sometimes I really question whether or not I can do it. And, sometimes I just can't, man. They will consistently find a way to make teams good that have no business being good. And I think Cleveland, and specifically, like I said, Dylan Gabriel, maybe even Quinshon Judkins might just go off and dominate too. I really don't know. It could be a lot of different things. It's just the way this team is, man. It has been the way this team has been for my entire life. We've made Blake Bortles look competent. We made Browns Baker Mayfield look like a stud. We let Tim Tebow win a playoff game. We've done it all in terms of making bad quarterbacks look like absolute units, look like absolute studs. And the truth is, I ain't happy about it. That's why I know this game is going to be closer than it should be. I think we will still win. I think we will not allow ourselves to lose our second home game of the year. But it will be close for no reason. That is my expectation, is that it's going to be close for no reason. But regardless, I think there is sort of, okay, there is a reasonable chance that we're going to win. Just put it that. We're going to win. I'm not even going to get in my head about it. Moving forward, Bengals, Packers. Yucky, dude. That's a mid one, too. I'm sorry. That's another mid one. I'm just kind of reading the ticker as I go. Bengals, Packers. So let's talk Joe Flacco trade for a second. So Joe Flacco is now just a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. He gets traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati. First of all, I don't think Cleveland, is it really worth moving off Joe Flacco? I don't really think so. Not for basically nothing. I understand you probably weren't going to keep him much longer, and he wasn't going to play much longer, and you might as well get the value while you can. But that's lame. So they slightly improved their day 3 pick. Why? I mean, I guess it just doesn't seem. It doesn't really make sense to me. Why send him to a division round? Because let's say Joe Flacco plays really well and all of a sudden the Bengals go off. Well, now you look like an idiot for trading him. If he doesn't, I guess you got the pick, but it's just it's such little real value overall. And if let's say I'm Cleveland, I mean, now you're basically saying, yep, Shedeur Sanders is our backup. After weeks of saying, no, he's still the QB3, especially after they benched Flacco. They're like, oh yeah, he's still the QB3. And the thing is, from the Bengals' perspective, this was such an indication of, oh yeah, guys, remember how cheap we are? Yeah, we're a really cheap franchise, despite the fact that our owner is a billionaire. I feel a little bit bad, like a smidgen bit of bad for Bengals fans, because your owner won't spend money to actually try to make this season competitive. Of all the quarterbacks you could have gotten, you could have tried for Jameis. You could have tried for Russ. You could have tried for Kirk Cousins. You maybe could have tried for, Geno Smith somehow. You could have tried for Andy Dalton in Carolina. You could have tried for so many quarterbacks, and maybe you have to give up a little compensation, but I think teams will be okay with that, hurting their quarterback depth for reasonable compensation. What? Why go get Joe Flacco? He's 40 years old, and your offensive line is 5 toothpicks. It's terrible. It's an awful decision. Jake Browning, say what you want, he was bad. And I agree, he probably should have been benched. But not for a guy who can barely move, who's got hardly any mobility at 40 years old, who is wearing cement shoes. He's going to have no time to throw. Like, they're going to play Green Bay and Micah Parsons, who's going to get pressure immediately. This game's going to be chalked. I have the Packers winning. They're coming off a bye week. Matt LaFleur's going to have them prepared. They're not going to be scared of Flacco. Flacco is, again, 40 years old. Moving along. Screw the Bengals. Let's get to the good game. Let's get to a heater game. I just see it scrolling across the screen right now. Seahawks, Jaguars. Not my game of the week, but certainly going to be a great one. Trevor Lawrence had a phenomenal game on Monday Night Football. Well, I won't say phenomenal. He did have like a bad interception. And he also fumbled on the goal line. But still, he did enough to win, despite the fact that he just fell down on the ground and then found his way to stumble into the end zone. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense is legitimate. Anthony Campanile looks like a potential head coaching candidate by the end of the season for what he's done with this Jacksonville defense. Devin Lloyd, they didn't pick up his fifth-year option, and now dude's playing lights out. He's already got 4 picks in the first 5 weeks. Gets a huge 99-yard pick six that was critical in them winning this game. This Jacksonville Jaguar team is a little bit scary, and now they get another tough matchup. It'll be Seattle coming in, who Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith, and Jigba is playing incredible. Now, I understood he was going to be more of the wide receiver one. He was going to get a lot more targets, especially with no more DK Metcalf in the mix, and then basically having Cooper Kupp be wide receiver too. But JSN is playing lights out. He is looking like a bona fide top 10 wide receiver, pushing towards the top 5. I have him probably around 7 or 6 right now, but the reality is, this is going to be a good one. I think if Jacksonville can keep their offense going, if they can get Brian Thomas Jr. more involved. He's been great in the clutch. He's made some big catches down the stretch of games, but he needs to get more involved, get some of those big plays we saw last year going. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Seattle Seahawks are due for a phenomenal game. I'm going to take Seattle. I took them last week and I got burned. They lost to Tampa. I'm going to take them this week again. I just think Jacksonville is not fully fleshed out on offense. Well, I think Seattle is a lot more fully fleshed out on offense, and I think they'll be better defensively this week. I like the Seahawks to go in and get the win against Jacksonville, despite perhaps some of the difficulty they may have against that defense. I know that defense has been good, but I am a Sam Darnold truther, and I think this game, regardless, is going to be good. That much I will say. This game is going to be good, but as for my pick, I'm going to roll with Seattle for right now. Things may change as the weekend goes on. We'll check the injury report when it comes up this Saturday or Sunday. Next on the docket, Chargers-Dolphins. It's not mid. Actually, you know what? I think this game is going to be a good one, despite how I feel about Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. Despite how I feel about Tua Tagovailoa, he played like 3.5 really solid quarters against Carolina, and then that final drive looked like he subbed in, my little cousin, and just went out and tried to throw passes. That's what it looked like. Didn't happen. Miami loses to Carolina, a game they probably should have gone in and won, especially with the fact that their run game is terrible. But hey, look on the bright side. You don't play Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton may have had 300 yards. Rico Dowdle puts up 234. I'd have to assume Omarion puts up an even bigger number. But the reality is, say I am the Chargers, I got to figure some stuff out. They were 3-0 against their division. Now all of a sudden, they're 3-2 and tied with Denver for the division lead. They got to win this game. They got to go into Miami and win it. They don't have a choice. They lose, buddy. Absolute fried chicken. You know who else goes into Miami and loses? The Jets. The Jets do. But the Jets did go into Miami and lose. They're basically my mom. The point is this, right? Chargers are down Omarion Hampton. This is Miami's best shot to try to turn around their season, is by winning this game, improving their rush defense against a banged-up Chargers running back room. They don't win this game, their season's over. You're 1-5. That is the sign of a basically cooked season. Very rarely is 1-5 savable. I've only seen 1-5 get saved one time, and it was by like Andy Reid and Alex Smith. And I don't even know how they did it because they had lost Jamal Charles. The fact that team even made the playoffs and won a playoff game, miracle. Miracle. But Miami's not a team that's going to be able to come back from 1-5. It's just not, especially without Tyreek Hill. They need to try to get Jalen Waddle involved. They need to make him the wide receiver one if they want to win this game. But they're not going to. I don't think Herbert loses a third one in a row. I think Justin Herbert gets the win over the Miami Dolphins. And if he doesn't, then I'm never trusting him again. If Herbert doesn't beat the Miami Dolphins, I'm never drinking his Kool-Aid. I'm just not. I'm done. I'm done with If Man. I will be done with If Man forever if he doesn't beat Miami. I'm quoting myself there. If he does not beat the Miami Dolphins, I will never have any faith in him again. I don't care what the situation is. I will not have faith in Justin Herbert. That is final. Clip it, ship it, and dip it in dill pickle sauce. I don't even know if dill pickle sauce is a thing, but I am not going to trust Herbert if he doesn't finally beat Miami without Tyreek Hill. Dunzo. I don't care how banged up your offensive line is. This Miami rush defense sucks. Figure it out. I have the Chargers, being said, but if they lose, I'm done with them. Ooh, Cowboys, Panthers. Huh. Gosh, that feels like mid, but Dallas has actually played well. I can't really say this game's going to be mid. I think this game should have some intrigue, right? It's Panthers at Cowboys. I think it's going to have a little bit of intrigue. It has to, right? Hold on. Let me look. Like Rico Dowdle last week. Well, actually, let me look up. Oh, no, it's the other way around. It's like Panthers. It's Cowboys at Panthers. My apologies. But, like, let's see. Chuba Hubbard. If Chuba Hubbard plays, then, you know, there's more intrigue. I know Rico Dowdle was great, but I have a feeling he's just not doing that again. Remains idle, missed Wednesday's practice. There's a chance he doesn't play. Yeah, it's growing doubt. It seems to be growing doubtful. Okay. Yeah, Chuba Hubbard probably doesn't play, so we're going to see more Rico Dowdle again. Here's what I have to say about that, though. This Carolina team, I think it's the other way around. It should be this. Oop. I will say this. For this Carolina team, it should be entertaining. Like I know there's Chet McMillan. Like, I know he's the big guy. I need to see more Xavier Legette. I really do. I need to see more of this Panthers offense. I need to see Bryce Young get his receivers involved. I've seen it against Miami. And again, it's the Bryce Young experience. There's just no way to know if he's good or not. There's no way to know if he's going to be good or not, right? Because it's every time there's this, oh man, he looks great. And then next week he's back and he looks terrible. We're going to see him against Dak. I think he's going to look very clearly outclassed. I think Dak and the Cowboys probably win this game. Javonte Williams has been excellent rushing the ball. The defense has been bad, but Dak's been a lot. Been doing a lot. He's playing probably like top 5 quarterback right now. I'll be honest. With the way he's playing, you're out your number 1 receiver, and you're still able to basically cook everybody you come across. I got to give Dak his flowers. He's playing really well. I want to give Bryce Young his flowers. I'm not really going to until his team is above 500. Because I will not trust him remotely. I just don't. I don't trust him to win this game, frankly. I mean, I know it's a Rico Dowdle revenge game. Like, it could be, you know what's interesting too? You know what this feels like? Rico Dowdle right now feels like Jay Ajayi in 2016. Everyone remembers Jay Ajayi's one big year where he had back-to-back 200 rush yard games. It's very possible Rico hits 200 again against this Cowboys defense. Like, I can almost sense it a little bit. But I don't know if I don't think it's gonna happen. But I have a weird feeling that it could. But at the moment, I gotta go with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't trust Bryce Young. Bryce Young is always giving me reasons to sell my stock, and I'm not interested in. I already sold it week 1. I'm not interested in buying it back. I got no interest in buying it back this year. Sorry, Bryce. Maybe when you're off the team, maybe when there's maybe when you go to a new team and you have a resurgence, I'll buy your stock. But it's very tough for me to buy Carolina stock right now. Let's flip to Monday Night Football. Let's go out of order here. Monday Night Football. Falcons host the Buffalo Bills. Falcons are coming off a bye week. Their defense has been surprisingly good through the 4 games we've seen them. I don't know if that holds up. I'm going to say it's going to be entertaining. I can't guarantee it's a heater because there's a very strong chance Miami just doesn't come as prepped out of the bye week as they Atlanta doesn't come out of the bye week as well prepped as they should. And Buffalo just absolutely hurls spitballs at them for 60 minutes. That's what it could be, right? Because Josh Allen, the Bills should kind of be pissed that they lost to the Pats, right? Now they're in prime time again on the road against Atlanta. Josh Allen might just want to go in and rip Michael Penis a new one. Michael Penix. My bad. Freudian slip there. Freudian slip. But I mean, they're gonna need to rip Michael Penix apart. I mean, I know they haven't been fully healthy. Matt Milano has had his issues, right? Matt Milano has been healthy. Ed Oliver hasn't been healthy. I have the Bills. I don't think the Bills lose back-to-back against teams that are still I think New England is more proven than Atlanta, but Atlanta really feels suspect. I don't think Buffalo drops back-to-back. I think Buffalo goes into Atlanta and wins. I don't see it. I don't see a world where that happens. I don't see a world where Buffalo loses this game. I know Atlanta's been good. Drake London has had a couple moments. Bijan Robinson's very good, but Josh Allen doesn't allow this to happen. At least I don't think. I think they're going to bounce back. They're going to be cleaner. They had actually, I think it was the first time they turned it over multiple times in a game in like 26 games. I think they're going to bounce back this week. They're going to handle Atlanta. Meanwhile, hold on. I just remembered the AI slop fest. Titans Raiders. 2-1-4 teams, and listen, Titans had no business being Arizona. Anybody who plays Madden's like, yeah, there's just no way I'm gonna allow us to lose this game. Like, if you understand situational football, no way you're losing that game to the Titans. The other thing, and the Raiders. Listen, I don't understand where the hype from the Raiders came from. Like, was it really all Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers? Because Brock Bowers has kind of underperformed and hasn't been healthy. Really has underperformed since week 1. And the other big one was, if you're, let's say, the Tennessee Titans, if you're the Raiders, you were really, I don't understand where the hype came from Geno. I think a lot of people kind of, I didn't think he was that great in his final season in Seattle, or at least that good enough to where he's going to make the Raiders just work all of a sudden. Like, the Raiders aren't good. They're just not. They're not an incredible organization. They've been terrible for years. And they brought in Pete Carroll with the expectation that they're going to be competing now. There's just not a roster that's ready to compete now. It doesn't have enough depth at the receiver position. It doesn't have enough depth on defense. It's just not going to work. I don't even know who to pick between these two teams this weekend. I'm probably going to lean the Raiders just because, they got to get a win at some point, and they're at home. I guess I'll roll the Raiders for now, just because I think they're a little bit more talented, they're a little bit more put together, and I trust Pete Carroll as a coach more than I trust Brian Callahan. But this is just going to be a terrible game. I think it's going to be a bad game. I just don't think it's going to be entertaining. And I think it won't be entertaining, but it'll be like I think all of these games I will still watch. Like, I would watch any NFL game no matter what. But it will not be a good game. I don't think it will be a good game. Next on the list, Patriots Saints. I don't think this game's going to be good. I think the Saints gave it their all to get their first win against the Giants, and then I don't think they're going to have the strength to be able to handle Drake May. I think Drake May is... And again, a lot of people are annoyed, right? Because if you're not a Pats fan, you're really mad at this. Because the Patriots... when you have a great quarterback of all time... when you have a Tom Brady, you're not supposed to have a great quarterback again this soon, and yet all of a sudden, here's just Drake May, right? It's irritating. It's irritating from a fan perspective. It's irritating from pretty much any perspective. Oh, my gosh. Why? And they just beat the Bills. And their strength of schedule, hang on. The Patriots' schedule is just like feathers and pillows soft for the next 4 weeks. Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons next 4 weeks. Tell me that's not 7-2. Like, the majority of teams would be licking their chops, licking their lips. And then they get Tampa, which is, like, the biggest threat that they'll have in that 5-week span, followed by the Jets and the Bengals. This team could be, like, 9-3 by the time they face Giants. 10-3. Like, I think what's gonna happen, New England's gonna go on a crazy win streak, have like 8 wins to like 3 losses at a certain point, and they'll play the Bills again and lose. They'll play the Ravens when Lamar Jackson's healthy and lose. Like, this team could actually have 13 wins. It's insane. This team could legitimately have 13 wins just based on the strength of their schedule. They have such an easy schedule the remainder of the way. Like, it's almost, to me, it could be like, it's not even dark horse. I think they're a lock just looking at their schedule. It's insane. It's insane. And it makes me so mad they already have a good quarterback. Bothersome. Switching sides from not going to be good to an absolute heater of a game. The Bears at Commanders is going to be fun. This is the battle of another battle between the number 1 and number 2 overall quarterbacks. Caleb Williams for the Bears and Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. Now, this one's intriguing to me because this Bears team is so much different than last year so far. It's only 4 weeks of them playing football, and they are only like, you know, they're 2-2. They're not like they're not world beaters, not like 4-0 or whatever. But the improvement is already happening sooner than I thought. I thought we'd need to wait till like week 7, 8, 9 before we really started to feel the effects of Ben Johnson. Nope, it's immediate and it's happening right now. I gotta give credit. The Bears look exciting. That being said, and actually, let me make sure that this is true too. Let me just see what Scary Terry's status is. Because if he goes, then I think my answer is different. Still not practicing? And that was 2 hours ago. He probably doesn't play then. Yeah, I don't think McLaurin plays. So if McLaurin doesn't go, low-key, why not? I'll take Chicago on the road. They almost beat them last year, and the only reason they lost was, again, because of a terrible Hail Mary. I think Chicago goes into this game, and I think Ben Johnson has them fired up. I'm going to take Chicago in a surprise victory on Monday night. I think they will down the Commanders. I think the Commanders without Terry McLaurin is significant. I know they beat the Chargers, but the Chargers had a lot of penalties. If Ben Johnson, coming off a bye week and prepped, can keep the Bears buttoned up, they can very much go into Washington and get a win. I like the Chicago Bears in that one. I think it should be a good one for that other Monday night game. Now these two games. Ooh, these are two good ones. I don't know who I put in the top spot. I can only pick one. Do I pick 49ers Bucks or do I go Chiefs and Lions? Because I think the desperation that Kansas City will have in Sunday night is huge in determining how important that game is. Because Kansas City really doesn't want to fall to 2-4 in that division with the way Denver looks and with the way the Chargers at least looked in the beginning. So, dang. You know, I think I know what I'm going to do. Out of respect for the idea that I would like to see different teams in the top slot, and since Tampa was in there last week with Seattle, which, by the way, I called, that game was probably the best one of the weekend with that shootout between between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. I will put the 49ers and Bucks in absolute heaters because it will be. Now we get to see Baker Mayfield and Mac Jones squaring off. That should be entertaining. I still have Tampa. I think Tampa will knock San Francisco down. I think asking San Francisco to go on the road again with backups to ask that twice in a row, I think is a lot, even for a great coach like Kyle Shanahan. And we've seen what the Bucs look like. They look incredible on so many different levels. Baker Mayfield is playing an otherworldly level. And you've got Emeka Egbuka, who is an incredible wide receiver. And again, Baker's doing this without Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin. Like, he's not doing this with his whole roster, right? So when this roster is finally fully healthy, I think Tampa might be the scariest team in the league. I know, and San Francisco's still wicked banged up. Still no George Kittle this week. You know what? Let me make sure. I know I said Mac Jones will be playing, but let me make sure that Brock Purdy is not all of a sudden in there at the moment. Injury impacts that emerges that impacts Mac Jones. I'm just double checking. 49ers dealt troubling. Okay, so it looks like Brock Purdy is still. This says there's an outside chance he could play as soon as week 6 or week 7. It says he's maybe unlikely to play. So it's unlikely. There is a chance Brock goes. But if there is doubt that he goes, then it should be exciting to see Mac Jones and Baker Mayfield take the field if Mac Jones keeps playing at the level that we saw on Thursday night. That being said, I think it's going to be very hard to go in there with backups and get back-to-back wins. It's just not easy. I mean, and we know how good Tampa is. I'm going to roll with Tampa for now. I picked against them last week when they played Seattle, not this week. I'm rolling with the Buccaneers to beat the 49ers. And finally, the game of the week, Chiefs-Lions. This game, I think it's at Kansas City, so I'm just going to swap that around. If I'm wrong, then I'll find out when the ticker comes by because I know that one's right and I'd put it in. Chiefs-Lions is going to be, I think for the Detroit Lions, this doesn't feel as nearly as big for them, but I think it is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs, considering that being 2-3, they do not want to lose here. They are probably playing right now what is the best team in the league in the Detroit Lions, especially probably number one in most power rankings, especially after what had happened with the Eagles and what happened with the Bills and their losses, right? If you're the Detroit Lions, like, this is another game you're thinking you're just going to, like, you went into Baltimore, whooped them, even though Baltimore's probably not a good team at this point in the season. For Kansas City, this game means a lot because you're 2-3, right? You've lost a lot. I know they look good and they're going to get better once Rashee Rice comes back and all this. This is the last game they have to play without Rashee Rice, but they'd really like to win this game against the Detroit Lions. Gosh, what is the ad that just popped up in my face? I got blindsided. I think the Kansas City Chiefs will lose this game, though. I do think Detroit goes into Kansas City and gets the win over the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the offense is too talented. I think we finally see Jameson Williams have a decent game. We haven't really seen that a lot this year. We've seen him kind of struggle for the most part. I think with Amon-Ra St. Brown having to match up against McDuffie, they're going to need Jameson Williams to step up. And I think they do. And I think they get the win in Kansas City. I think Kansas City will still be entertaining. I think Kansas City will still find their way to success throughout later in the year. But I think Detroit is going to get the better of them in this ball game on Sunday night. The Detroit Lions march into Kansas City and emerge victorious and get to 5-1 on the year, while the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, will fall to a 2-4 mark. And there, with 58 minutes into the stream, there are all your games ranked by how entertaining I think they will be. That top 4 slate is going to be fun. You have a lot of good quarterbacks in those matchups. Goff, Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, who's played well, Baker Mayfield, who's played lights out. And then you got some entertaining ones that should be exciting. See what some other teams will be going on. Unfortunately, there are some teams that are just either really bad or just don't have their starting quarterbacks, say like the Ravens and the Bengals, or say like the Saints, who are just bad, the Jets, who are just bad, and the Titans and Raiders, who are also really, really bad. This should be a good one, though. This should be another good, fabulous week of NFL action. And I'm excited for it. I am here for it. And I will be... So, before I go, I have some things I need to get out before I cap off the stream here at just a little over an hour. Number 1, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around and checking us out. If you haven't liked the video already, if you're on YouTube, what are you doing? If you haven't clicked follow or subscribe, what are you doing? Come on, the mouse is right there, or the little thumb on your phone. Just hit it and hit the bell. You know how it is. Trying to grow a little bit. That's all. You know who else thinks it'd be cool if you hit like and subscribe right now? Like, come on. We all know. You got to do it. Bigger things, though, outside of just that. should be going live Saturday and Sunday. We'll have Saturday, hopefully. Definitely Sunday. I'm going to try for Saturday. I can't guarantee that the Saturday thing will happen, but I will be available to stream at least a little bit earlier, probably from around 11 to 12:30. We'll preview some of the games, and then you guys get to enjoy NFL Week 6 on Sunday. That's the main thing. I will not be here. I will likely be out in I'll be out of the town. I'll be out elsewhere using my laptop. So hopefully, as long as staff is able to set up the equipment, we should be good to roll, good to rumble. But outside of that, that's where it stands right now. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you can enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you guys have a good weekend. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll hear or see from some of you this weekend. And guys, what do you think? What do you think? Was this a good episode? Was this a good stream? What do we think? Yeah, we do. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go make myself a little pizza and probably crack open a beer as I watch the Giants and Eagles game. So have a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Later.